What's up, guys? It's the Calling Collective with Emmanuel Butts, and today we got special guest Chase Woods. He's a licensed former athletic trainer in the state of Michigan. He has a Develop From Within fitness program, Atlas Investment Group, and the Super Bros podcast. And on top of that, he's a commissioned Army officer. It's going to be a great episode. Let's get into it.
Are you willing to do whatever God called you to do?
All right, what's up, guys? It's back. It's another episode. I'm here with Chase Woods, bro. We got to start with the question, as always. So what's the most unusual or maybe like odd job you've ever done in your life?
I don't know if it was really like a weird job, but it was kind of niche. So when I was like a junior in high school, senior going into my college years, I worked at a golf course, and I wasn't like a caddy because no one really did that there. But what I did do was when golfers would come in, I would clean their golf clubs. So
You would clean the golf clubs?
Yeah, it was interesting because I had never seen that before, but yeah, they would essentially come in, we'd clean their golf clubs off, and they would tip us money. So
Dang. So like almost like a car wash, but like for...
Yeah, that's
I thought machines did that, no?
There are some that do that, but we would take care of golf carts, we'd take care of the driving range.
Oh, dang. Okay, so it's like one-stop shop.
Yeah, man. So very unique job, and it was mostly like tip-based.
Oh, so like, were you in, like, is this high school, around high school?
Yeah, it was like towards the end of high school, right before college. So whoever was on shift that day, we would split the money. So sometimes you'd have days where you're making yeah, you'd be making like $300 a day, but then other days you'd make like 10 or 20. So it was
Yeah, I know that they said deals are made on the golf course, bro. So
yeah, I got exposed to a lot of wealthier people. Mm-hmm. Probably didn't take full advantage of it because I didn't even learn how to golf.
Like network and stuff too, you know.
Yeah, but now that I'm older, I definitely appreciate that experience.
That's good stuff. Was there anybody like notable that came through?
There were a couple like very retired NFL players that came through.
Very retired? Yeah. What is very retired?
I mean, you could tell that they'd had like knee replacements.
Yeah.
They were just old. There was actually, speaking of, we were talking about Ohio State before the episode.
Yeah.
But one of their former players, his family was like a frequent of that golf club.
Yeah.
So they would show up like every summer, and then we just talk Ohio State. So
that's fair, bro. That's good stuff, man.
A lot of like college coaches and stuff. They have their summer homes up there. So yeah, got exposed to a lot of rich people.
That's good stuff. And was that in Michigan?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, northern Michigan.
Northern Michigan. Yeah. What exactly, like, city?
So it was kind of in the Harbor Springs area. There's like two main cities where most of the wealth is at in that area. It's Petoskey and then Harbor Springs, Michigan. And then from there, it's like a little bit more blue-collar, impoverished areas.
Did you live in like that northern area? Or?
Yeah, so I actually grew up in a town called Pellston.
Okay.
There was probably 800 people there.
800? So, dang, that's small, bro.
Yeah, small town living. Really.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then rough winters. So
rough winters. All right. Yeah. So now we gotta get into like, how'd you grow up? Like, what was that like? Like family life, you know, like.
It was good, man. Yeah. Like I had both parents in the house.
Okay.
My parents are really, really hardworking people, and I would say they're probably the example for what parents should be to someone who needs mentorship. Mm-hmm. My mom was a nurse, so I grew up watching her go to work every day. And then my dad, he retired from Special Forces. So I grew up with that in the home, just being around.
Wait, so your dad was Green Beret?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, man, that's a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, I don't know if it was so much pressure. It was just more like he had high expectations of all of my brothers and I.
Okay.
So as I got older, I kind of understood why he said certain things or did things a certain way.
Yeah.
And then when I actually joined the military, I was like, oh,
it
all makes sense now. Yeah. So I grew up with, I guess, the expectations of a Green Beret in our house. But yeah, they were always there for everything. They drove me to be a better person. So
that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Did you start your self-development journey? Would you say it started here or like, you know, later on down the road, or like how'd that go?
I would say probably around 11 years old. It was like my parents were going through a little bit of a rough patch with their marriage. They've been in and out of debt a few times. So being an adult now, you know, you can appreciate how hard it is to come out of debt. And I learned the value of money really, really early on. So it was always like this quest to figure out how to make more money. And obviously when you're 11, that can be really frustrating because you're like, how do people do this?
Hey, that's pretty young though, man. I don't think that's like a normal like desire at 11 years old.
No, I don't think so either. And I probably put too much pressure on myself more times than not. But, that was kind of like driving me. And then I was floating through life, not really interested in anything else. And then I figured out that I was good at football. So had a game where I like kind of was starting to emulate Barry Sanders a little bit.
Barry Sanders,
yeah, you know, I could cut people up a little bit on the field. And I went to my dad. I'm like, hey, Dad, like, I want to be good at football. Like, I want to play in college.
You want to be like good, like noticeably good, like yeah, bro. That's good stuff.
Yeah, so I told him like, hey, you know, I want to play in college. I want to go to the pros. And he sat me down. He's like, the only way that you're going to be able to do that is if you just lock in and start lifting weights. Yeah. And so he actually was one of the first people in my life that told me, like, you can do these things, you can achieve them, but this is realistically what's going to happen. He's like, you're going to spend a lot of time alone. People are going to not understand you. You're going to lose friends. You're going to lose relationships. But it will be worth it if you stay focused and stay dedicated to it. So,
bro, that's honestly like a blessing because I know, like, we've talked and our parents, they only sometimes see their path, you know, and they want to be like, well, you know, hey, is this like a regular 9 to 5? Is this going to be like lucrative in the end, or you know, or just don't even go for football at all, or don't play sports. So I know a lot of parents are like that, but that's a blessing that your dad even said, hey man, like, it is doable, you know, but it's going to take some sacrifice. I thought it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, man, I definitely appreciate that. He, it's funny because like, I think for him having reached the pinnacle of what his career was, being, you know, the upper echelon of the soldier, he understood like what hard work and dedication can get you. And, you know, every time that I was slacking off or, you know, chasing girls or, you know, chasing things that didn't revolve around the goal, it was kind of like, hey man, like, I'm disappointed in you, you know, like giving me that gentle push in the right direction. And as much as I didn't like it at the time, like, he really had a big impact on me. And I think that's where like that sense of self accountability comes from. I don't think I had it naturally as a kid. I don't think most people do because, you know, people are naturally inclined to be lazy and to stay comfortable. But if you can find something that's really important to you and that actually makes you passionate about it, and you wake up every day and you pursue that, that's the best thing you can do, because it's like, you're not going to settle for the status quo. You're not going to settle for sleeping in, staying up late, going out and drinking, partying. Like, you're going to focus on that goal. So
you're going to focus on that goal. So did football start your fitness journey, like with personal training and that type of thing?
Yeah. So initially when I started working out, it was like 3 days a week. I would do like a mile run, and then I would do either squat, bench, or deadlift, and that was like our program, right? Like,
did your dad teach you these like lifts?
Yeah, so
that's pretty dope.
He was actually a competitive power lifter as well.
Dang.
So he did that during his time in the Army, and he was really proud of that, and he got me into powerlifting to get stronger and faster for football. So it was like very, very basic entry level stuff. Yeah. And that's actually what most of my training is centered around now, is like, let's have a baseline, and then from there we can branch out into whatever specialty stuff.
So that's even with your Develop From Within fitness program?
Yeah.
Make sure you plug that too, man. I know it's coming out.
Yeah, I'll plug it towards the end. Program coming out soon. Yeah. So going from high school, eventually, you know, my dad, he realized like, hey, he can take this into his own hands. He can start training on his own. So it was always like following different programs, figuring out what I needed to do to get in the right room to train with somebody.
Yeah.
I made it my goal to walk on to my college team because I didn't have like very many offers. Obviously, small town.
Yeah.
We had a losing record, so
the exposure wasn't like super great.
Yeah, I sent in my film, and there were like D3 schools that would reach out and they're like, "We want to give you a partial scholarship." And I'm like, "I can't do that."
Like that ain't it.
Yeah, so I took a chance on myself. I decided to walk onto my college team, and then I was basically just doing whatever training I could get my hands on. I was talking to the women's track team, trying to run sprints with them, the men's rugby team. Like, I got in touch with one of their interns because he was just passionate about training people. And so I learned a lot through him. I learned a lot through my experiences. I was able to walk onto my college team. Okay. And then I kind of realized that dream of college football was not really what I was meant to do.
What was that turning point? Was there like crossroads or?
Yeah, there definitely was. So I actually ended up walking on twice. I got cut the first time, and then I worked for a whole calendar year to get back like 365 days.
So like not redshirting or anything, just like.
No, I just got cut. They're like, you made the fall roster, and then they called me the following July, and they're like, hey, we don't have room for you. And
you've been working this whole time.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
It was wild, but I was instantly like, there was no other thought in my mind like, I'm going to make the team again. And so that summer, I was like, okay, I'm going to change my training, because the biggest thing was that I wasn't fast enough. Like, white dude trying to play cornerback. Not really. Not really conducive.
Yeah.
So I was like,
there's some pretty solid dudes. I would say some solid dudes.
I'm always like, yeah, good job. But I had to change my training style. So I sought out some physical therapists who specialized in like sports performance. Okay. And I was able to drop my 40 time down to a 4.6 laser. So dang, okay. Yeah, so I was like in peak prime mode to play college football. And then pretty much all the stars aligned. They got a new coaching administration. They changed out, and I was fighting for first string reps. And slowly but surely, like, the deficit of learning a college defense started to catch up to me. And so I was like just making mistakes where I shouldn't have made mistakes. The coaches didn't really take the time to get to know you, because it's like, it's a business. Yeah,
they're trying to win.
Yeah, and I think they just assumed that I was an experienced defense back. So me probably not standing up for myself is what contributed to dropping down. And what really did it for me was we were in the scrimmage, and I made an interception. It's like perfect read, right place, right time. I caught it, and I'm like...
The Madden flip, the screen.
I was like, you're on offense now. And so I ran it back like 20 yards, got tackled. Dang. And I was like, I just made an interception in college. That's pretty sick. Yeah, for sure. And then the coach came up to me, he's like, hey, man, that was a good job and all, but this isn't fucking high school. So make a better read next time.
What?
And I was like, Coach, I did everything perfectly. He's like, yeah, we'll see. And so... Dang. We flash forward to the end of the day. We're in film meetings or whatever, and he was like, "Oh, that was a really good read, Woods. Like, you did everything perfectly. Why didn't you say anything earlier?" So he's gaslighting me. Yeah. And I was like, "I'm all set, man. I'm done." And that was when I made the decision. I'm like, I'm gonna walk away. I'm gonna find something else to pursue. And
what? Just like you didn't want to have to deal with the mind games, or like what was it for you?
I think for me, it was the reality of being on a practice squad, fighting for those reps with no end in sight. Like, it was a D2 school, so very little opportunity for scholarship. And that was the whole reason I was doing it. I was like, I'm going to get a scholarship, I'm going to go to the NFL, and I'm going to take care of my family. Yeah. That was my mentality as, a kid who was completely disillusioned to other ways to make money. Yeah. So when I started to realize that this was becoming more of a job than I wanted it to be, I wasn't having fun, and my body was breaking down. Like, I would wake up some mornings, I'd have like, blood clots in my nose from getting hit so hard in the head. Dang. And like, I'm like, I need to get healthy again. I was depressed. I didn't have a relationship with my family because I was like, I need to do this on my own. you know, I need to be my own man. I need to prove you guys wrong. And then things were just kind of not going my way. So that was the turning point. And by the time that I decided to walk away, I was pretty burnt out from football.
Yeah.
So.
I'm telling you, man, like even with the Army, like I see a lot of times if you let them like run you to the ground, it will happen. And you have to stand up for yourself and say, hey, I'm not doing this PT competition. I'm not doing, because if you are physically fit, they will choose you every time. And they don't care about the burnout.
Yeah.
It's just,
you can do it. He's
yeah. I remember I did my last PT competition, and it was like, I think I popped a hamstring or something on a kettlebell swing, something like random.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it ain't that deep.
Apart,
It's like, this ain't that deep. But I pulled back, but yeah, I understand. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope, bro. So from there, so after you walked away from football, did you immediately go into like training and that type of thing, or you just took some time to revamp, or what was that?
Yeah, so we were playing our spring game, and you know, you watch that final 10 seconds click off the clock. I'm like, I'm about to never play football again. That's kind of wild. But I also don't care. Yeah. And then that following,
and it's weird that you don't care. You're like,
yeah, you'd think that you'd be more emotional about it, but I'm like, this is really it for me. Like, thank God, dude. Yeah. Like, I was like, I can do other things. And then it was like my whole world went from a black and white perspective to full of color. Yeah. Like, there were so many more options that I could pursue now. Yeah. I just didn't know what it was. So I followed up that game by just eating 3 or 4 bowls of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, right? Plug Cinnamon Toast.
Yeah, sponsorship.
Sponsorship. I need a t-shirt. Favorite cereal. But anyway, I just like, I went into a mode of like overcompensating. Okay. Like I needed that dopamine hit. I'm like, I'm so like run down. Yeah. I'm just going to eat sugar all the time. Really? Yeah. You? Yeah. I wouldn't expect that, man. Yeah. I had a really bad relationship with food for a while because I was like, if I eat this, I'm going to get fat. And then I just realized I'll show you pictures after this. I was probably the leanest I've ever been. I was like 4% body fat, dude. Oh, so it's definitely like something mental, like. Yeah. Okay. For sure. It wasn't that healthy. I would cramp up like walking up the stairs and stuff. Dang. But anyway, I went from there, and I think this is probably something that actually saved my life, so to speak. The same mentor that I trained with, he was the women's track intern. Yeah. He showed me a documentary about the CrossFit Games. And it was the 2016 CrossFit Games that Matt Fraser had won. And he was like, dude, I think you're perfect for this sport because you just have that grit and that work ethic that's associated with it. And you love to train. You don't necessarily like to compete as much. You like to train. You like the process. That's beautiful. Which is true, man. Like, competition is stressful. So that got me into CrossFit. And then the following summer, I found my first CrossFit gym. I didn't have enough money for a membership, so I was like telling him basically like, oh, you know, I can pay my membership in a week and I'm just working out for free. Yeah. Like, I'm trying to finesse him, right? At least he didn't take no for an answer. You know? Yeah, you know, I was just poor. I was trying to make it work somehow. And so one of the coaches was actually on his way out. He was moving to Maine. Yeah. And he's like, jokingly, hey, you look athletic. Do you want a job here? I'm like, well, what do I need for a job? He's like, well, you need to get your level 1 CrossFit certificate. And I was like, give me a week, I'll get it. That's good stuff. Yeah. And so I got the owner of the gym to agree to pay for my certificate. That's good stuff, man. Yeah, man. It was awesome opportunity. So I went down to, I think it was Grand Blanc, Michigan or wherever. I studied for like 3 days and then got certified within a week. And they're like, we've never seen this before. Like, you've been doing CrossFit a week, you're already certified? I'm like, I have to be. There's no other way. Yeah, you're like, I got it. This is how I'm going to pay for my gym membership. Because when you get your level 1, most gyms will honor that and they'll give you a free membership. So basically, I got certified, started coaching like the week after that. And then I really haven't had a gym membership since then. It's either been my own setup or coaching for someone else or just making things work, you know. Have you done that here in Clarksville as well? I've never coached here. Okay. I've made a big effort to build my own gym at home. Yeah, I saw it, man. I was like, it's a lot of plates. Like, that stuff is expensive, but you just built it over time, or? Yeah, I got lucky because there were some people that were PCSing.
Oh, that's true.
For those people that don't know, PCS is just when you move in the
Yeah,
military.
I don't even know what does PCS stand for, bro.
Permanent change of station.
Oh, it is permanent change. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So they're like, I'll sell you these plates, and they had no idea what they were worth. So I was like,
yeah, because
I'll give
plates
you
are like
$100.
really expensive. Yeah.
So I got a bar, I got plates, and then I bought a rig from Rogue, Tractor Supply. They're great with like horse stall mats for your floors. So I bought.
Oh,
that.
you patted the garage down.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then before all of that, I actually came back from deployment and bought an assault bike. I was like, that has to be the one thing I get if I don't get anything else is an assault bike.
Out there in MK. Is that where you were?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yep. So yeah, that was the start of the gym build, and then slowly it's just been like, getting sandbags, or I want to get a rower, like a ski rig and stuff.
Okay, man. And then are you gonna take clients in that gym, like home, or you don't want them too close to home? Or?
So I have had people come by to train, like if it's more of an in-depth movement that they're not familiar with. Usually it works out if they live in the area.
Okay, that makes sense.
But my whole training platform is built online. So Developed From Within Fitness is my company that I started, and essentially it's built around customized fitness coaching. So all of my clients, they have a one-on-one call with me initially to figure out what their goals are. We build a plan based around those goals, and then their workouts get adjusted weekly based on their feedback. So it's like varying levels of athletic experience.
Yeah, from any type. Yeah.
Everything comes with video demonstrations, so they all know what they need to do, and if they don't, they have access to me to ask questions.
That's awesome.
And then from there, this year, I built a hybrid athlete program that I plan on dropping at the end of the month.
Okay.
So,
awesome stuff, man. So from there, how did you get into investing? I know you said in your childhood they were pretty important about money.
Yeah, my parents didn't really teach me. They didn't teach me a ton about money. It was always like the standard 10% rule, like put 10% away. Yeah, pay yourself first, and then when you get older, you'll have enough to live on.
Yeah.
But lo and behold, we find out that we don't have enough to live on when we get older.
Yeah.
When you're young, you don't really get that concept, and you spend it all.
Yeah, I feel that.
So that was me. I was like I would always have money and be like, I have money now. And then I'd spend it and be like, I don't have money. Like, how do I get more? And so I was always working for somebody else.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then back in 2023, summer of 2023, was the first time I listened to Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And that book changed my life.
Really?
It changed the way that I think about money and how money is created. So essentially, the way that Robert Kiyosaki writes about money creation is, I could have a product or a service that I invest $10,000 into, right?
Yeah.
That money doesn't disappear if what you put your money into it makes money.
Yeah.
So if I put my 10 grand into, say, like a laundromat or something, right? If that business is making me money, as soon as I make that $10,000 back, I have my money back. I can put it somewhere else, and that business will continue to make money for me.
Yeah.
So that made me think about everything differently.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to get into real estate. I need to get into buying businesses.
Yeah, something that will continually.
Yeah, and that's actually what led me to Develop From Within. Was there's a health crisis in America. There's people that are chronically sick. They're chronically weak.
Yeah.
And it's more of a liability to be weak than it is to be strong, right? Like, I'm sure you as a man would feel a lot less of a man if you couldn't pick up a couch to help your wife
for
or
sure.
something like that,
Definitely.
right? So it's like being prepared for life is super important, and being strong for your whole life is the most important thing, because if you have a hard time squatting your body weight, how are you going to get up out of a chair when you're 70 years old?
That's facts,
what I mean?
Yeah.
So that became my whole mission, and I was like, there's a problem here that people want solved. They want a convenient answer, so let's build a model where they can literally only talk to me. And maybe we'll hire out in the future, but they're only talking to me. Whatever problems they have, they get left with that phone call that they have.
Yeah.
And then we build a plan for them, and they can either be as involved or not involved as they want to. They can nerd out on it. They can ask questions, or they can just have a program that they follow, and that's it. But building a model that people will subscribe to is the most important way. It's the easiest way to build wealth.
Yeah, and it's a system. You know, I've heard that's the best way to build wealth. Like stuff you don't have to check on all the time, except you know the one-on-one calls. But other than that, So also with your clients, have you seen like what has the progress been? Or
so we currently have 2 people that are like full-time signed athletes. They're training really hard.
Awesome.
Our goal is to scale that up to 5 to 10 clients that are like fully utilizing customized coaching.
Okay.
And then from there, the program itself, I want that to be the vehicle that reaches more people, because you know, you and I know a lot of people that are very fit, they're very motivated, they're previous athletes, so they have like a certain level of training experience and they don't necessarily need a coach.
Yeah.
So that's where we kind of fill the gap with scaling things, is like, let's get a program out to people that they can follow and they don't have to ask questions about
exactly.
and they can see results. So we've had multiple clients who have either stayed or they've come and gone, but they've made progress in some capacity. Like I have a guy I'm working with right now. His goal is to be in the 1,000-pound club, and he's not like the strongest person in the world, but he's only 200 pounds shy of that. So like,
all right, it's very doable.
Yeah, super doable. And his run times have consistently been dropping. He's another service member.
Okay.
And you know, every time that we've tested him, he's shown improvement in some capacity.
That's
whether
awesome.
It's big or small, it's like, hey, what we're doing is working. And then all of the workouts that we do in those programs are workouts that I've done myself.
Yeah,
so
and then you said you had the video tutorials as well. So
yeah. So we use a software called True Coach right now, where it gives us access to a full training library of different exercises. So whatever your program is built on, you know, there's a video demonstration for that. So typically all of our warm-ups will have demonstrations. All of our strength training will have demonstrations. The only thing that's a little nuanced is like if I want to throw a specific piece of conditioning in, that will probably require a little bit more explanation. Or it's a phone call to them and just be like, hey, this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing it, this is what you need to feel, this is how we can scale it down to your ability.
And you just do that to personalize things? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome, man.
Yep.
So from investing in people's bodies, can you tell us about Atlas Investments?
Yeah, so that's kind of a work in progress right now.
Okay.
Some of the best CEOs and some of the most wealthy people in the world, they have what I call a web of wealth. So they have, like, I'll take Nick Bear, for example.
Okay.
Right? He started his entire brand on YouTube.
Yeah.
So it was daily vlogs about his life. It was just things that he found important to him while he was building a nutrition company. When he built the nutrition company, all of the media was handled by Bear Performance Nutrition. All of the scaling and the merchandising was handled by Bear Performance Nutrition. And then, you know, obviously he kind of built the whole hybrid athlete movement through switching over from strength to running and exposing everyone to like all these different athletes that were good at this stuff. And he started a podcast. So it's like you have a vlog, you have a company, you have a podcast. I'm sure he's probably investing in different things right now, but knowing that you can build a web of different things that create your overall brand, that's what I want to do with Atlas Investment Group. So, you know, having a podcast, having a company, having a personal brand that I keep up with, Atlas Investment Group is the thing that's going to protect all of that. So, you know, having investment properties, buying businesses, that LLC will then protect all of those shell companies or entities that I accumulate along the way.
That's beautiful, man. So what can we see in the future for, you know, Develop From Within, Atlas, like Super Bros podcast? Like, what can we see from the future?
So as far as Develop From Within goes, first goal, I want to scale it to $10,000 a month.
Okay.
So that's kind of a dream goal. You know, we're leveraging the military right now to provide us with good income, and then reaching as many people as possible with this program that drops on January 30th.
January 30th.
And just continuing to be consistent with content production.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll also have a website that people can go to sign up for customized coaching. And then for the Super Bros podcast, continuing to do episodes like this with really cool people like yourself.
Yeah.
We just dropped our first episode of the year with American Open champion Darcy Molina. So
yeah, I saw that. Check it out. It's dope.
Yeah, she's a really cool person. Talking to just more influential people.
Yeah, man.
Our goal for the year is 10 to 12 episodes, so we're on track to do that already. Personally, I want to read more.
I
want
feel that.
Learn more about business, make more connections. Just be there, be a dad, you know.
Yeah, bro. Tell us about your son, man. I know you just got married.
Yeah.
Not too long ago, and then also had your son as well. So how's that like?
It's good, man. It's a blessing. I think for me, like, I was single for a long time, so it's like you live that single life. You mourn it a little bit because you're like, oh, I have all this freedom. I can talk to whoever I want to. I can do whatever I want. But at the same time, there's nothing that replaces a team that has your back.
That's facts. Yeah,
like,
man.
I can have all those really hard conversations about life and the goals that I have with my wife at the end of the day. Like, she is 100% my biggest supporter. I've cried in front of her. I've broken down. I've been vulnerable. Like,
that's beautiful.
She's the person I can do that with, and my life would not be as blessed and as healthy as it is without her.
That's awesome.
She gave me my son too. So.
Yeah, man. Easy on the baby talk. My wife is here.
Yeah, she's like, I
and
got the baby fever.
Yeah, exactly.
I got the baby fever.
Baby fever. So
clip that.
Yeah.
Dude, having a kid is awesome. By the way.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, greatest thing I've ever done in my life.
Oh my gosh, you're not supposed to say. You're supposed to say I'm up all night.
Sucks. I hate it. He's terrible. Once you get out of the,
remember this. No.
we just got out of the newborn phase.
Okay. Oh, so, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, he started laughing yesterday.
Oh, this is too much.
Yeah.
You're not saying the right stuff.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun because it's like it's just surreal, man. You think about all the things you like to do as a kid.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, this is how my dad probably felt when he was my age.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm
a new perspective. Yeah,
it's like I got to watch a Lions game with my son the other day. And I'm like,
that's beautiful.
Almost crying, dude, because I'm like, this is amazing. Like, he's gonna grow up liking things that I like.
Yeah, it's
probably because I forced him to.
Yeah, you will be a Lions fan.
Yeah, you will take us to the Super Bowl. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I think it's really soon to talk about legacy, but I think we're working on some stuff that he can definitely take in one.
That's awesome, man. You guys see any? I know he's very new. Have you seen any like personality traits yet, or anything that?
So he's a big faker.
Like a poker face type thing.
No, like he'll scream and cry when you put him down, and then as soon as you pick him up, he's like, "Ha, I got you."
Dang, that was his first. Was that his first laugh? Like,
my wife would be really mad that I'm saying this, but I was in the gym on Saturday doing deadlifts.
Yeah.
And I put him out there with me because he was just crying, and I'm like, maybe he just wants to be in the garage, like to hang out or whatever. Yeah. So he's like dead quiet, right? He's watching me, whatever. And then he starts like pick me up. And so I pick him up. He's like, ha, ha, ha. And
he got you.
He started giggling. I'm like, did you just laugh, dude? Like,
you got me.
Yeah. So it's cool, man. He kind of looks more like her right now, but he's starting to look like me, which I appreciate.
Yeah, man. You're like, I put in half on this baby.
Yeah, you know, I mean, yeah, I did my part. I just want my son to look like me, you know?
Yeah, that's facts, man.
Like, I'm a handsome guy.
Yeah, man. You are handsome.
I want to be a handsome baby, you know?
Yeah, man.
But yeah, it's really cool.
You guys got plans for any more, like, in the future?
Yeah, she says she wants 4.
4.
But I don't know how I'm going to...
If the businesses take off,
I got to get through the building phase.
Yeah.
Figure out what I want to do career-wise. And then we'll go from there.
Yeah, man.
Cost of living goes up with
it does,
babies,
and the economy right now is it's in progress. So
but
hopefully,
it forces you to grow. Which
man, that's a blessing. Yeah, I can see that marriage is definitely like As I know, like we were long distance for a little bit.
Okay.
Because we got married in March, but she had to finish her school year out, so
Yeah.
She came down here in July, and it's definitely different than
Yeah.
her flying home, and like when you see that person every day,
Mm-hmm.
so you're forced to be different. Like you said, that single life is so much different than married life. So
Yeah. People can hide who they are for like the first
Yes.
90 days of a relationship too.
Yeah.
And then when you start living together, especially with long distance stuff, you're like, oh man, like
I didn't know she did that.
kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like, or they'll be like, you loaded the dishwasher the wrong way. Like,
Yeah, it's like,
what do you
Yeah.
mean? There's dishes in the dishwasher.
That's facts.
Yeah.
I know for Ray, like she's like, no, don't go too hard, but yeah, but she. Yeah,
Let him cook now.
She had she sneezes in a certain way, and I heard it, and I'm like, I didn't even know you like you wouldn't think to check to see how someone sneezes, but
Are you a high pitched sneezer? Achoo.
no, it's very loud and
Oh,
aggressive.
shit.
Yes.
Scares you.
Yeah, and I'm like, what is? Okay, you're not here, but
Yeah.
anyway,
We're
she's
talking
not-
to the production
Yeah,
team.
we're talking to the production team that doesn't sneeze weird.
Emmanuel is a lot more established than me. I sit in my kitchen with my computer.
Nah, man. He's doing some great things, though. But, Chase, here we go, man. I got you this book, The Stoic Path to Wealth. I feel like it's a little on par with what you're doing, man.
Dude, I appreciate that.
You're a pretty
Thank
stoic
you.
guy, and then you need to
Yeah.
get some wealth. So, just like all of us.
We'll have to do a book exchange. I really want you to get plugged into some of the stuff I've read before.
For sure,
I've
yeah,
got
yeah.
one in mind that I think you'd like a lot. So
What is it? You got...
yeah, so I'll say, because we talked about my my wealth journey, or like
Yeah.
my self-development journey. The book that also changed my life is called Into the Magic Shop. And it's built around one of the most successful neurosurgeons in the world. Richard Doty is his name.
Okay.
But he was very poor growing up in Las Vegas, Nevada. His mother was like, I think she was either schizophrenic or like a meth addict or something. And his dad was never around. So he would ride his bike to get away from home. And he just wanted to get out and see the world, but he was only confined to a small space because he's a little kid.
Yeah.
So one day, he loses one of his like fake thumbs because he likes to do magic tricks. So he's like, I got to get a new one. I'm gonna go to a magic shop and see what's in there. So he goes into the magic shop, and the woman who's working there is actually the owner's mother. And instead of teaching magic tricks, she's like, do you want me to show you some real magic? And she teaches him how to meditate. She teaches him how to visualize things and how to connect the mind, body, and spirit to what you want in life, how to forgive, how to open your heart to people. And through that, he took it with him his entire life. He became a multimillionaire. He strayed away from it. He lost it all. He gained it all back, and then he gave it all away. So it's like
Wow.
the journey from acquisition to altruism, or giving away to people. I think that was really powerful. So I read that book. I started meditating when I was like 15, and that substantially changed the course of my life.
So you just like visualizing like where you want to go in life?
Yeah, it's never been exactly how I visualized it, but I will say if you can develop a clear picture of what you want in this world and what you want out of your own life, and you can clearly define the path that you want to take, and you can see it and you can imagine it in your mind, that's the first step, because then it's like, well, what has to be true for this to happen? You know, that's something I've done my entire life, is set up my environment to achieve my goals. So I knew in order to play college football and to make it to the NFL, I needed to find a mentor, right?
Yeah.
So every day I was emailing people. I was always trying to seek out people that knew more than me, and through that I was able to open doors. I was able to talk to coaches. I was able to be that annoying person who just never gave up, and they're like,
man.
well, we have to give you a chance.
That's
So,
beautiful, man.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No doubt.
You gotta read that. I'll bring it over.
Thanks for this time,
Yeah,
man.
appreciate
No
you
doubt,
having me
brother.
on, brother.
No doubt. And we'll see you guys next